What's good, YouTube?
Hey.
How we all doing this week?
Hi there.
It's been a busy week for me. I've been working my butt off.
I saw your butt earlier. It looked fine.
It's gone.
It's not gone, dude. It's still a bone.
It's gone.
It's still pretty firm.
It's cute. It's still cute, dude.
Stop. Tell me more.
I guess first off, we had Thanksgiving just pass, and as you all saw, we had the Bell Witch investigation clips that we put up. I wanted to give a big shout out to the city of Adams. All the people that showed up to the event, it was a blast. It was a little bit cold, but we made it, and it was some great activity.
A little bit. And really, a good crowd, man. We had some interesting people that were very involved, and they were right in the middle of experiencing what we did. It was really a good time. And what's that one feller's name? Big shout out to that guy. Jeff something or other.
The original Minuteman.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff Ayers. Appreciate his help as well, man. We've enjoyed being up there a lot.
Fantastic.
Can't wait to come back.
And on the real, huge shout out to Moss's Diner.
Yeah.
For being just fantastic.
We
love you so much.
It's positive, phenomenal.
In fact, I'm probably gonna personally deliver the donation to the city of Adams, so I can go to Moss's and get some lunch.
And what would you say as far as that event goes? Like, what was your coolest moment of it all? I know it's kind of putting you on the spot a little bit, but
there was some good ones, man. I guess just the coolest moment, really, both nights, but the first night at John Bell Sr.'s gravesite
That's what I was gonna say.
It was palpable. Like, you could touch it, you could feel it. Everybody there was aware of what was happening. It was so real, and the responses and the energy that was coming through there, and like people, the young lady getting stomach ill and having to walk her out.
Yeah.
It was 100% real for everyone involved.
the feeling, the darkness, like just enclosing around.
Not even the feeling, the visual.
Yeah.
And you pointed it out one time where you would look back in the woods and you could differentiate trees in the background, and then all of a sudden it was black.
Yeah.
Bucko. It was black.
It was. I'm sure we are all going to probably say the same thing as far as John Bell Sr.'s gravesite, but I know for me, the first night was very personal for our group in general, meaning Gateway Paranormal. I think as far as where I'm at, the cooler part was actually getting Elizabeth coming through.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Dean, John, all these names that were pertaining to the Bell family, and Dean, who worked for the Bell
Especially
family.
after starting at John Bell Jr.'s gravesite and getting responses to Elizabeth immediately the very first night before ever going to the other gravesite, which was way more intense. I think for everybody, it was intense.
Yeah, it was definitely just a different feeling out of that John Bell Sr.
Oh
grave.
yeah.
What about you?
John Bell Sr.'s grave was fantastic for me, but I think my favorite part about the Bell Witch investigation was the fact that people wanted to come out and hang out with us to do it.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And we had a pretty interactive group.
We did. No, it was a fantastic
group.
I thoroughly enjoyed the company both nights. It was very interactive. They were very involved. A lot of times we do these events, and for whatever reason, the purpose is for whoever comes to the event to investigate and maybe to get some ideas on how to do things differently. But most people clam up. I think we can all agree with that.
Yeah.
It ends up being they buy a ticket to watch us investigate.
Yeah, watch a show.
We're not trying to charge people for that. We give it to you free on YouTube. But we want you to experience it and you to investigate. And this group was actually really good about it.
And when we go out and investigate, event or not, it's going down.
Yeah.
Like we
They
investigate.
would. Even this one though, they would. Kind of bridging off of what you guys were saying. They would just jump right in and do their own little parts of the investigation, which is great. I enjoyed it a lot.
Without saying too much, future endeavors with the city of Adams is going to be fantastic. We have some things that we're going to work on that you all will be hearing about possibly soon. So it's not an event, but it's going to be something cool for us and hopefully you all to watch. The thing that has been bothering the absolute crap out of me all week.
I know. Sorry, bro. Diana's killing me. I'm trying to ignore her, but Sorry guys, there's a cat right
right.
behind
She's
you.
right there, swat all the stuff.
I got you, bro.
Alright. And we're rolling.
And
But yeah, back to I guess as far as this week goes, I just binge watched season 2 of Hellier.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Look at her just about to knock cups out of it.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Get the fuck out of there.
Point the camera and show what is happening right now. This is Diana.
There's Diana.
she's the worst.
Dirty Diana. Dirty Diana.
Oh, yeah.
Here's our documentary. Hold on, can we move this ceiling up?
Yeah.
'Cause that's where Hellier was.
It was fantastic. It was mind blowing. I spent like 2 days, I'd say 3 days, just binge watching it. And the first day was not really much watch time. The second and third day I was like this with my phone the entire time.
I have to speak up, and I told you a little bit about it earlier. I had a hard time. Was it episode 9? Carl?
I don't remember.
I think it was episode 9. Carl under hypnosis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It took me. It took me 4 times to watch that part of the episode. I promise y'all. I'm laughing because it scares me. It took me 4 times to watch that part of the episode because every time I watched it, I would fall asleep when he hypnotized Carl. And I would wake back up whenever he got to 4, 5. To the point that I realized it. And I continued to rewind it and go back and play it. And I would doze off. And I would wake back up at 4, 5. When he's waking Carl up.
Wow.
Now, I didn't miss the entirety of it. It was like the last maybe 3 minutes. But I would be paying attention to what was happening. I would be listening to Carl's responses, and then it was just lights out, bucko. And then I would hear 4 or 5, and I would wake up. And that started creeping out to me 4 times to watch that part of the episode. I told him, I was like, homeboy was hypnotizing me
Through TV.
from watching it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, granted, I'll give it, like, I was tired, I'd worked a long time, but I woke up at the same spot and would rewind it to see what I had missed, and I would doze off again. And
Wow.
it was, like, repeated, yeah. Creeped me out.
But I mean that's legit. Like,
It, like, scares me about
That's-
hypnosis.
so our next project is gonna be why I get hypnotized.
I mean, I'm down because it will clearly work.
He just be over there.
So gross. Just a mouth breathing.
Yeah. One thing I did want to say was that ghost box session with Tyler Strand was fucking nuts. I got to a point where Greg introduced, I'm Greg, this is Dana, this is Connor, this is Carl. They said, what is your name? And he said, Michael. And then it said, Michael, well, where do you come from? The place between.
But the place between was a response that Dana gave.
Yes.
Okay.
And then it ended up saying, Michael, the angel.
Yeah.
Watching Carl through this hypnosis session, the dude was not coherent.
No.
He was not cognizant of the situation and just giving some kind of responses for the camera. Like when they cut to 2012 when, I don't remember the dude's name, but Greg's buddy that they did the reverse scenario where they were trying to
the
make
Inception.
him the Inception where he was getting abducted. And the thing about the dude that was hypnotizing him was like, it kind of creeped me out because he was like, the guy says, oh, I'm not supposed to, I wasn't even going to be the one to do this, but I guess I'm going to do it or whatever. And the guy sat down and he was like, all right, are you good? And he was like, yeah, I'm good. And he stuck his hand out like this. Show me your hand. And then he goes, look at your middle of your hand. And then you start getting more relaxed. And homeboy was like,
Yep.
And I'm like, what?
That was pro nuts, dude.
It went from it was like, he was even slime at it. He was like, all right, well, let's do this. Look at the middle of your hand. And he was
there
like-
for a second I was like, what's happening right
Yeah, it was nuts.
And dude was like,
Well, that's what I noticed. It was almost like he refined his technique on the second time.
Yeah.
Like that was
he
more
used
of a
more vocal tone, and I think that's what got me. That's what made me actually get really sleepy. Was it's a very serene, monotonous kind of pleasant plane of tone. I watched. Again, it took me 4 times, but I could see his mannerisms and his just the way he wasn't even really.
You definitely need
doing
to
much the second
refinish that episode.
yeah, for sure.
And I will, and I will. I'll watch the entire series again. It's that good. Like
It is that good.
we do this. We film things and we make documentary style things. We haven't done a docu-series, but that's not the point. But it's a struggle to really put something out there that's really it continues to keep people's attention grasped.
Not only that, but it grabs everybody's attention.
Well, and
I
like
would
he said,
touch
he was so blown away by the response from not just the paranormal, but other aspects of it. But really, the paranormal community was like, "Bro, this is fire!" Like I've commented, like this shit is a banger.
Yeah, I think
The cipher at the end, I was like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, too, just even doing what we do, you have to appreciate the production quality of what went into that.
A lot of work put into that shit.
I gotta be real with you though. The production quality is fantastic. But what grabs me is not the production quality at all, because I understand the difference. We're all involved in that. We understand the difference of good and bad quality. We've had the majority of bad, but we understand how you can get good quality. But what really grabs me is the subject matter, the approaches, the experiments, the communication.
What I probably like the most is the fact that there are dead ends. And we deal with dead ends every day.
Yeah.
And no one understands, it's not one of these documentaries that anybody puts out where it's just from point A straight to point, D here without any kind of deviations in the middle, because man, we'll crisscross, we will cross paths. If we're tasked with different research opportunities, we will cross paths, we will go underground, above, and sideways, and it gets nuts. So to film all of that and keep it all cohesive and flowing in one general direction in a documentary is phenomenal. I mean, there's a lot to go on.
Yeah, that is a lot, and that's one thing I was thinking about as far as, I edit everything. I pretty much do all of that. And I'm looking at...
It's such a whore for attention.
Well, I'm looking at it from a standpoint of like, each episode has so much different information in it.
Yeah.
And the fact that they can put that and still be like a running order of consistency. Like,
and even me from filming, I mean, I've got a lot of inspiration just from the different ways that they film everything and document everything.
That's one thing Casey and I point out, like the first, maybe even just the first episode of season 1 was just like, wow, like this fucking quality is fantastic.
And not only that, but you gotta think, they had, the first season was 5 episodes, 45 minutes long?
No,
it's longer than that.
They're like an hour.
So let's say 5 hours, right? That's 5 hours of probably 600 hours of footage.
Oh yeah.
If not more than that.
Yes.
And maybe not. Maybe they were successful in the fact that the majority
They
of their trips were bangers.
They recorded everything they did.
It took them a long time.
Well, even with me and
this
Matt
all
got-
started in 2012.
I can tell you this: when he did the Alan Greenfield interview, I watched that clock behind him.
That thing tripped me out the whole time.
It was
dude.
like-
and they would go ahead of
Like
time
5
and then
5 hours that they interviewed.
forever. And they would start out at like 6 something, and then it would be like 2 something, and then I paid attention to that, and I was like,
it was blinking.
again, but it's the chronological.
Right.
They don't necessarily do it chronologically. It's about what parts are important to the story that you're telling.
Well, even in that, before you guys got here, me and Matt were sitting here at this table.
Matt and I.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. I mean, it was incorrect. I'll give you that.
They hate me right
So we were sitting here, and we were sitting here to just talking about other things that we're doing or whatever. And I'm like, we should have a camera set up. We should be videoing all this.
We have all been absolutely encompassed with Hellier. It's a phenomenal production of the information, and it heavily pertains to a lot. It is a culmination of lots of things in the field and outside of the field.
Yeah.
It's kind of all encompassing, and it's quite eye opening to an extent that, maybe you don't be so naive or directionalized into what responses you're getting. Maybe you look at it in a more objective standpoint.
I think we just say this: if you haven't watched Hellier, go fuck yourself.
No, seriously. If you have any slight inclination into the paranormal field in general, whether you're into ancient alien theories or
Monsters,
goblins, or paranormal,
fairies,
or the Fae, you need to watch this docu-series. You need to watch this docu-series. It's very informative, and it also helps you to kind of be a little less narrow-minded. Maybe open your eyes into possible other realms. That's the word. Realms. Open your mind up to other realms, because that's what we as Gateway have kind of been experiencing lately. Simultaneously with the Hellier phenomena, as they call it, and we're loving it, by the way, but we have kind of had some things happen with us that it's very eye-opening. That's all I can say.
Indeed it is.
my eyes are open. All three of them.
Ooh. That was absolutely genius. Wasn't it though?